He's all the way in the right.
One, two, three. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the Richey Suncoast Theater. We are the Tampa Bay Big Band. My name is John Roll. It is my distinct pleasure and honor to serve as the director of this fine group. We're going to play for a couple hours for you tonight. Music of the big bands from the 30s and 40s like this song. We're also going to do something from later in the big band era, 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond. We hope you'll enjoy it. So settle into your seats, sit back, and enjoy the Tampa Bay Big Band.
You're walking along the street, or you're at a party, or else you're alone and then you suddenly see, you're looking in someone's eyes, you suddenly realize that this could be the start of something big. You're lunching at 21 and watching your diet girl, declining a Charlotte Russe, accepting a fig. But out of the clear blue sky, it's suddenly and this could be the start of something big. There's no controlling the unrolling of your fate, my friend. Who knows what's written in the magic book?
But when a lover you discover at the gate, my friend, invite her in without a second look.
You're up in an aeroplane or dining at Sardi's girl, or lying in Malibu alone in the sand. You hear a bell, and right away you can tell that this could be the start of something grand.
This could be the start of something very big. Why don't you play your part? Please give your heart to me and see. This could be the start of something wonderful. Why don't you take a chance? Just try romance with me and see.
You're watching the sun come up, or counting your money, or else in a dim cafe you're ordering wine. Then suddenly there he is, and you want to be where she is. And this must be the start of something. Could be the heart of something. This could be the start of something big.
Ladies and gentlemen, we opened the show with a big hit from the Woody Herman Band, Woodchopper's Ball. Well, that came back out in 1939. But you also got to hear our vocalists, Gary and Darlene, on that great Steve Allen composition, The Start of Something Big. Now, they left the stage for right now, but don't worry, they will be back very soon. We're going to have two distinct sets of music to play for you tonight. The first set will be almost entirely music of the 30s and 40s, the golden age of jazz, the swing era. And the second set, we're going to move again into something a little more modern, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. We even have one that was written in 4 years ago, 2011. But our first piece is one of those from the swing era. It's from the great Count Basie Orchestra. We're going to feature Dave Shade on tenor sax on this one, and A.J. Morgan on some really cool drum fills on the Count Basie version of George Gershwin's Strike Up the Band. successful songwriters in the early part of the 20th century. He composed some of the best songs in the Great American Songbook. These songs included things like Georgia on My Mind, Up a Lazy River, Heart and Soul, Anybody ever play heart and soul like that when you were a kid? Yeah. Well, we're going back to 1937. And this is one of the most beautiful ballads it was ever written. It's from Hoagie Carmichael. And it ranks right up there with his other really beautiful ballad, Stardust. This chart was arranged for big band by Frank Comstock, and you'll hear solos by Matt Hill on trumpet. I'm going to pull out my trombone and play a little bit on this lush version of The Nearness of You. Well, back when I was in high school, I heard a recording from the great Tommy Dorsey Orchestra. And it was a chart written especially for him by Cy Oliver. Now, I always wished I could play in a band that could cut this chart. This is really cool. But I never had a band, never played in a band that had the chops to handle it. And that's been over 50 years ago. Never had that opportunity until recently. Now I direct a band that can handle it, and I love it. This is gonna stay tuned because you're gonna hear some exciting stuff. Some trumpet work by our lead trumpet, Matt Hill, and our second trumpet, Bruce Cook. I get to play the Dorsey solo. We'll also have solos by Eddie Myers. By the way, he played on Nearness of You. I forgot to mention that Eddie Myers on lead album. Alto sax, piano, Joe DeCenza, tenor sax, Dave Shade. Hope you enjoy Tommy Dorsey's Well, Get It. Good. 1, 2, 3. Singers back out, Gary and Darlene. Actually, Gary's going to be out first, and I'm going to let them introduce their own charts. Where'd you get that jacket, man? That's gonna...
Like, apparently the same person.
Timu? No.
What a lovely crowd. It just so happens that my favorite all-time singer is here tonight, and that would be Darlene over in the wings. My second favorite old-time singer is Bobby Darin. Bobby had some really great hits, charts, arrangements, quite an artist. The song we're going to do is not as well known, but we like to do that at Tampa Bay Big Man, do something different. We think the chart's really good, and we hope you enjoy it as well. One, two, 3, 4. Oh, the shark bait has such teeth, and he shows them pearly whites. Just a jackknife has old Mackie, and he keeps it out of sight. You know when that shark bites with its teeth, babe, scarlet billows start to spread. Fancy gloves though is old Mackie, babe, so there's never a trace of red. Down the sidewalk, ooh, Sunday morning, lies a body just oozing light, and someone's sneaking round that corner. Tell me, could that someone be old Mac the Knight? There's a tugboat down by the river, don't you know? Well, a cement bag just a grooving on down. Whoa, that cement is just, it's there for the weight, dear. 5 will get you 10, old Mackie's back in town. You hear about Louis Miller? He disappeared, babe, after throwing out all his hard-earned cash. And now Mackie spends just like a sailor. Could it be our boy's done something rash? What's the guitar red? Blue, it's a lively, yeah. And old Lucy Brown. Yes, the light falls on the right page. Now that Mackie's back in town. I said, anytime a boat's a guitar red. Look out to this lively, yeah. And old Lucy Brown. Yes, the light falls on the right page. Now that Mackie's back in town. Look out, old Mackie is back. Thank you.
Well, it's not often that we find a song that can be sung all year round, including the holidays. This next song is about 2 people falling in love, and the angels above are just singing their hearts out, rejoicing at their budding romance. Ziggy Elman wrote in a fabulous trumpet part that will be played tonight by Mr. Matt Hill in the 2nd verse, and it's called "And the Angels Sing." And the angels sing, the angels sing the sweetest song I ever heard.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. What a day this has been. What a rare phenomenon. Why, it's almost like being in love.
There's a smile on my face for the whole human race. Yes, it's almost like being in love.
All the music in life seems to be
Like a bell that is ringing for me. And by the way that I feel when that bell starts to peal,
I would swear I was falling.
would swear I was falling. Why, it's almost like being in love.
All the music in life seems to be
Like a bell that is ringing for me. And by the way that I feel when that bell starts to peal,
I would swear I was falling.
would swear I was falling. Why, it's almost like being in love. Almost like being in love.
Move this here to the middle for a minute. Down here. Try to stay out of the orchestra bit, John. Good idea. All the way down there. This is over here for a reason, all right? Trust me. When you think of great American composers, you probably think of people like Cole Porter, Irving Berlin, maybe Aaron Copland, and of course, George Gershwin. Now, not only did George Gershwin and his brother Ira write hundreds of great popular songs, they adapted a story and they turned it into an opera called Porgy and Bess. You see all that recognition out there. Okay, good. Well, listen, I'm really very excited tonight because for the very first time, the Tampa Bay Big Band is going to perform Sammy Nestico's Porgy and Bess Suite. We're going to do it right now, actually. And this is going to feature 3 of our members on solos. We'll have Eddie Myers, myself on trombone, and Bruce Cook will come up on trumpet. Now, you may not know all of the songs from Porgy and Bess, but I bet you know some of them, and you've probably heard most of them. In this arrangement, you're going to hear excerpts from the overture, plus a very well-known Summertime. It Ain't Necessarily So. I Loves You, Porgy. There's a very bluesy My Man's Gone Now. There's a boat that's leaving soon for New York. Oh Lord, I'm on my way. And Bess, you is my woman. So sit back and enjoy this wonderful arrangement of Porgy and Bess. piece, huh? We are very excited about that. All right. It's almost 45 minutes into this. We're supposed to have you guys go eat stuff. Pay very fair prices at the concession stand and buy lots. Lots of popcorn, lots of beverages, adult or otherwise. All right. We have some that are underage here. We're going to close out this set kind of the way we started it with the Count Basie piece. This one is called Wind Machine. And it starts off with a piano and bass duet. Now, this young lady playing bass tonight is not our normal bass player. Some of you that have heard the Tampa Bay Big Band before, we had a young man with hair almost as long as hers. He's a little skinnier. He's just a little thin, about as wide as this thing. But he works at Advent, and he's only like 20, and when they say you come to work, he doesn't have a lot of way to say, no, I ain't going to be there. So Fawn Holly stepped in Monday night, sight read the show, and is playing a and you'll really get to hear on the first 32 measures of Wind Machine. You can hear Joe Descends on the piano, Fawn on the bass, Dave Shea's got another tenor solo, and some inspired drumming again by A.J. Morgan. Here we go with Count Basie's Wind Machine. 1, 2, 1, 2.
stand the wind.
You can have a voicemail. So, I guess it was about a half an hour later. He actually called me back. And so I'm talking to him. And they did it. He says, I think there's a couple more leaks in the and so I'm with him, and Julie calls me. Oh, I'm talking to him. I said, wait a minute, let's see if I can't put this thing all together. All four of us actually talking together. She was headed to Manhattan to go to a show. She does this thing where like then I was there.
Anybody recognize that song? John Phillips Sousa, Stars and Stripes Forever. But of course that was arranged in a big band style with the great Dave Wolpe. And again, you got a chance to hear Eddie Myers, this time playing the famous solo. Of course, we are just about a week away from Memorial Day and all those other patriotic holidays that happen in June and July. So we not only wanted to do a show of all American music, we wanted to have at least one that kind of reminds us of this great country that we live in, the freedoms we have under the Stars and Stripes. So, look, Jack, Tamu jackets, aren't you? During our second set, we're going to, as I said before, we're going to get away a little bit from the big band era, the swing era. We're going to play more of the music of the 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond. And this song, which was released by Bruno Mars 4 years ago. This song was written in 2021, but it has a real soft, kind of an R&B feel, sort of like the, maybe Lionel Richie and the Commodores, that kind of a thing. We love to play it. We hope you enjoy hearing it as much as we enjoy playing it. Lead alto solo by Eddie Myers, trumpet solo by Matt Hill on Leave the Door Open. vocals for us. And you gonna talk about them?
Yeah, well, I kind of thought maybe you might be wondering whether or not we're married. And we are. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, we're married.
Oh, how long?
Over 40 years.
To three different people.
But baby, you got it.
Oh. Well, it's never too late, right?
I love the dress, but I have to tell you something. You're molting. Another little back dressing room. All right. One, two, oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, now it takes more than a robin to make the winter go, and it takes 2 lips of fire to melt away the snow.
Yeah, well, it takes 2 hearts of cooking to make a romance grow. And baby, you got what it takes.
Yeah!
Yeah, well, it takes a lot of kissing
Tell me about it.
to make a romance sweet.
Uh-huh.
And it takes a lot of love and honey to make my life complete.
And it takes a lot to knock me off my feet.
And baby, you got what it takes. Oh, I said,
You know you've got just what it takes, because it takes more than an effort to stay away from you. It'll take more than a lifetime to prove that I'll be true.
yeah, well, it takes somebody special to make me say I do. And baby, you got what it takes.
Yeah.
Oh, I said,
You know you've got just what it takes,
because it takes honey, you're in my spot again.
I like your spot.
To stay away from you.
I can't stay away from
And
you.
it takes more than a lifetime for me
Puppy.
to prove that I'll be true. Now it's you.
Take somebody special to
Like me, baby.
make me say I do. And baby, you got
What it takes. Let's do it again. And baby,
you got
what it takes.
One more time.
All right.
And baby, you got
What it takes. And baby, you've got what it takes.
Thank you. This next song that we're going to do, well, let me say this. Frank Sinatra and Nancy Sinatra did 2 duets together or recorded them in the studio. The first one was called Feeling Kinda Sunday, and it was okay. But the other one was a monster hit. Went to #1 on the Billboard hits. Anybody knows what the name of the song is?
I heard it.
I think I heard it too.
Somebody on the 3rd row gets pride.
Yeah.
All right, ding ding. 2-week vacation Hawaii. Something stupid.
Stupid.
Okay, so here's our rendition.
Stand in line until you think you have the time to spend an evening with me. And if we go someplace to dance, I know that there's a chance you won't be leaving with me. And afterwards we drop into a quiet little place and have a drink or two. And then I go and spoil it all by saying something stupid like I love you. I can see it in your eyes that you despise the same old lies you heard the night before. And though it's just a lie to you, for me it's true and never seemed so right before. I practice every day to find some clever lines to say to make the meaning come true. But then I think I'll wait until the evening gets late and I'm alone with you. The time is right, your perfume fills my head, the stars get red and all the nights so blue. And then I go and spoil it all by saying something stupid like I love you. Like I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you.
You don't get to hear much from our guitar player in solo. That was Craig Drew us all those nice guitar fills. And what did you think about that claves player? Yeah, I'm going to graduate to Baracus one of these years. It'll make it really good.
That's my job.
Okay.
So how many people do we have in the audience that are Italian? Woo! All right. Well, this popular composer, Bob Merrill, was under a recording deadline. So this was back in 1954. He's in an Italian restaurant and he starts writing down a song on a paper napkin. Then he goes over to the payphone. You remember those? And he calls the studio, talks to the lead pianist, and he gives him the melody and the lyric and the tempo. And within a year, that song was an international sensation. So right now, I want to do that song, but I need your help. So whenever I say, hey, I need you to answer like an echo, hey. So let's practice, okay? Hey. 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 Oh, you're good. Thank you. You know, Rosemary Clooney would be proud. You did great. Okay, we're going to do this song with you, and the guys are going to sing the Hays with us. Okay. Oh, yeah. All right. Hey, Joe. Oh boy, went back to Napoli because he missed the scenery, the native dancers, and the charming songs. But wait a minute, something's wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4. Mambo Italiano, hey, mambo Italiano, all you Calabrese do the mambo like a crazy. Hey, mambo, no more a tarantella. Hey, mambo, no more a mozzarella. Hey, mambo, Italiano, try an enchilada with the fish bacalada. Hey, Rumba, I love how you dance, Rumba, but take some advice from my style, learn how to mambo. If you gotta be a square, you never gonna go nowhere. Hey, mambo, Italiano. Hey, mambo, Italiano. Dr. Joe, shaking like a Giovanni. Hello, Casey Chica gets a happy in the beat. So when you mambo, shake a baby, shake a cause I love her when you take a baby. Hey, Shaku, you don't have to go to school. Just make a little beat, Bambino. It's like a beat. Teach you how to look and bet you don't know what to look and tell you. Hey, 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 hey. Shake a baby, shake her, cause I love her when you take her. And by the pizzeria, that's where I'm gonna be. Gonna tell your mama, mama's gonna tell your papa. There's nothing to it, everybody's gonna do it. Hey, mambo, Italiano. Hey, mambo, Italiano. No, you mix up the Italiano. It's so delicious, everybody's gonna push it. Do the mambo.
You're a pretty good voice tonight. I'm sure I heard at least a few hays and a couple of hey mambos out there. That's pretty good. We'll sign you up for next week. Well, we're going to slow it down again just for a moment here so everybody can kind of catch their breath up here. And we play a beautiful ballad from the 50s. Now, nobody remembers the movie this came from, but the song absolutely lives on. It was made popular by Nat King Cole, 1956, but this is one of those songs that is so good that like everybody wants to record it. Johnny Mathis, Linda Ronstadt, Donny Osmond, Michael Bublé, even the Letterman did a cover of this one. You're going to hear Eddie Myers on sax, myself on the trombone on When I Fall in Love. Beautiful piece. The Beatles wrote this song in 1966, and it was released on their Revolver album. How many of you had the Revolver album at home, or have it still? Yeah, one of their first really good albums, huh? Well, one of the things that made this song really unique for the Beatles is they had used strings in some of their recordings before. Yesterday, Eleanor Rigby, that sort of thing. This one was the first time they used a horn section. Later on in 1978, in another very forgettable movie, the Sgt. Pepper movie, Earth, Wind and Fire did a version of this song and really made it more exciting than ever. And that's the rendition we're going to play for you now. The Earth, Wind and Fire version of Got to Get You Into My Life. 1, 2, 3. Solos. He's so excited about it. And playing it over and over and over. And Andrew Rosenthal, we actually heard him in the first set on Almost Like Being in Love, and that was Andrew on trombone. We're going to stay in the 70s now. Follow up with a big hit for Stevie Wonder from 1976. By the way, how many of you knew that Stevie Wonder had a birthday last Tuesday. He turned 75 years old. Now, does anybody else feel a little older tonight? Know the little Stevie Wonder is 75? Anyway, this is from his Songs in the Key of Life album. We're going to play Sir Duke again with solo by Dave Shane, Andrew Rosenthal, the Tampa Bay Big Band.
I am so excited about doing this next song because not only do I get to sing, I get to play a musical instrument with the band. It is the incredible cowbell. Ooh. And that sounds a little flat. Joe, can you give me a tuning note? It is flat. Does anybody know how to change the pitch on a cowbell to tune it? Are you raising your hand? Really? Play along, okay? So what you gotta do is you gotta go to a cow pasture, you gotta tie the bell around the cow's neck, and then you gotta reach under and grab the udders and go, squeeze! And the cow goes, and it and the pitch tightens up the metal and brings the pitch up. Okay? Sure. Okay. Does anybody know how to bring the pitch down if it's too sharp? Put your hand down. Well, this is a PG-13 show, so I'm going to spare you all the details. But when the cow's done, the cow goes, mmm, brings the pitch down. Now you might want to give her 1 or 2 cigarettes to smoke afterwards as well. They usually appreciate that. All right. I know, you think this is utterly ridiculous, right?
Get rid of these jokes. Come on.
Okay. Rim shot. Oh, okay. He gets a rim shot, I don't. All right. Okay. Here we go. Excuse me. 1, 2, 2, 2. I can only give you love that lasts forever, and the promise to be near each time you call, and the only heart I own for you and you alone. That's all. That's all. I can only give you country walks in springtime, and a hand to hold when leaves begin to fall, and a love that's burning light along the winter night. That's all. That's all. There are those I am sure who have told you they would give you the world for a tour. All I have are these arms to enfold you, and a love time can never destroy. If you're wondering what I'm asking in return, dear, you'd be glad to know that my demands are small. Say it's me that you'll adore, for now and nevermore. That's all. That's all. There are those I am sure who have told you they would give you the world for a tour. All I have are these arms to enfold you, and a love time can never destroy. If you're wondering what I'm asking in return, dear, you'd be glad to know that night. Say it's me that you'll adore. Yeah, it's me that you'll adore. Oh, now and evermore. That's all.
One, three. 1, 2, 3.
As long as I'm singing, there's a bell up in my brain that's ringing, making a crazy ding-dong.
And if this band don't desert us, then there's nothing in the world can hurt us, long as we're singing our song.
Give me trumpets, legato,
Put some saxes with them,
trombone, staccato.
add some rhythm,
As long
as we're singing, and the world's alright and everything's swinging, long as we're singing our song.
As long as I'm singing, there's a melody that keeps me swinging, snapping and tapping to the tune.
And if the band keeps on playing,
Well, 52. Sing, Sing, Sing was going to be our closer, but I guess we got time for another one. They say yes. Well, that's good because we like playing this one too. This is another one, like we started, another great Count Basie piece. It's a big hit for his orchestra. It has one of the silliest, maybe, according to our boss, Lou. Okay, hey, I know we don't have a spotlight. Lou, can you just stand up and turn around at everybody? Lou Smith founded this band about 9 years ago. Lou's kind of had to put up the trumpet for a while, but he played first trumpet with Doc Emerson on tour. So he's got some credit, huh? And look what this band has become, Lou. Wow. Anyway. This is he thinks it's a silly solo because it starts with Pop Goes the Weasel. But Thad Jones did it. I can't argue with Thad Jones, and I'm not going to argue with Bruce Cook because he's bigger than me. Anyway, you'll hear it when that comes in. And for all of you Mel Brooks fans, this is the chart that the Basie Band was playing when Sheriff Hart was first riding across the desert from Rock Ridge in blazing saddles. Count Basie's April in Paris. 1, 2, 3, and... probably one of the most famous jazz songs out of the 60s of all. It was a bossa nova. Carlos Jobim. They say this record, this song has been recorded more than any song except yesterday. Girl from Ipanema.
Yeah.